Good morning, everybody. This is Toucan Dragon, and welcome to part 2 of the Small Before You Pull series. In the last video, I talked about the new Devoted Digimon, so if you haven't watched that video yet, then do me a quick little favor, check it out. I'll post a link down in the description below. And while you're there, give a video a like, it'll help the channel quite a bit. So with that said, let's dive right into it. The next Digimon we're going to be talking about is Devoted Mastemon. Not only does she look pretty cool, but she is what I believe to be a top contender to be one of the best Devoted Digimon that we currently have in Global. Since her kit is slightly different with a gimmick we haven't seen before, I'm going to be comparing Mastemon with Devoted Raselmon and Devoted Lilithmon. I chose Raselmon since she is out right now, and she has a pretty decent attacking and debuffing capabilities. And my reasoning for Lilithmon is because I'm going with the mentality, if you pulled for these two Digimon, and you only have one spot available for your team, then based on these comparisons, you'll be able to determine which one of these Digimon to run for your specific team comp. So looking at Mastemon's HP and tech stat, she has the highest HP and tech to all Devoted Digimon out in Global currently. Her HP is at 6753 and her tech's at 3131. Compared to Lilithmon, who does not compare to her one bit, with a HP at 6289 and a tech at 2224. Right away, Mastemon just deals more damage on stat alone. And even compared to Raselmon, with an HP at 6443 and a tech at 2731, Mastemon's the one to go. Mastemon has high defensive capabilities and high tech stats, so she can take hits and deal damage. And it's evident with her defense stat at 1409, which is the third highest defense stat that we have currently compared to Madramon and Ophanimon. Then looking at her speed, all their speeds are the same at 12. So right away, Mastemon has the best stats compared to all Mega Devoted Digimon. The high defensive capabilities with high HP and high defense, high tech, probably the highest tech we have right now for Devoted. She is really good stat-wise. Now, keep in mind, it's the best stats for Devoted Digimon. So she'll be dealing damage and be able to take hints as far as a Devoted Digimon can. By no means can she one-shot enemies like Impildramon or Megamon, or take a lot of hits like Grand Kuwagumon. She can't do any of that because she is Devoted. But compared to other Devoted Digimon, she has the best stats. So, something to keep in mind, she's not going to be your main attacker or your main tank. So, just remember that. Next, let's look at her main skill. Her main skill, she deals 220% damage to 4 enemies. So, basically the whole team minus 1. On top of that, she lowers the defense by 40%, which is the highest debuff we have for defense as of currently. And on top of that again, she has a 50% chance to apply one of any status ailment. So shock, paralysis, freeze, stun, sleep, poison, burn, error, skill lock, blind, anything. But something I just realized, it's not just status, it's any ailment. For some reason, I didn't notice a dot there before when I read through this earlier, but it's there. So she does poison, burn, and error. She does everything. She can inflict everything, which is super cool. Well, a chance. So first, it's funny. It's kind of weird and funny. She has a 50% chance to apply one of the 10 first. And then after you get through that RNG wall, then the dice rolls again for which ailment it's going to happen. So it's a gamble, but it's a fun gamble, because no matter what happens, so if you pass that 50% chance gambling wall, then you're fine, because something's going to happen. Now, something to keep in mind, that yes, it's a 50-50% chance something's gonna happen, but your enemies might have something to negate that. So if your enemy has a Digimon that prevents all their allies from being frozen, then you kind of wasted that chance. Because yes, you got the chance to get a status effect, but you rolled again and you got freezing, but your enemy has something to block that, then basically nothing happens. So it gets a little iffy and muggy the more technical you get, but on paper, in a vacuum, this is good. And I like it. I really like it. Compared to other main scales with Lilithmon's a different story. Lilithmon does damage to 2 enemies, has a 40% chance to inflict poison on those 2 enemies, and gives all allies a 1000 HP heal per action. And Mastemon kind of wants to be a damage dealer like Mastemon. However, she does not do that good of a job. She deals damage to 2 enemies and reduces their defense by 30%, which is kind of almost a copy and paste of Mastemon. However, Mastemon does damage to 4 and reduces the defense by 40, while Mastemon does damage to 2 and reduces defense by 30. But to make up for this, she does give herself an auto revive once she goes down with this skill. But utility wise, Mastemon and Lilithmon will take the win here. Going to their sub-skill, their sub-skills are basically the same. The main part that's the same for all 3 sub-skills is that they restore allies' HP by 50%, which is good. It's something you want in a healer. Now the difference is that Lilithmon deals damage to all enemies, Mastemon deals damage to 3 enemies, and Mastemon only deals damage to 2 enemies. Now that wouldn't be good, but Mastemon does have a high tech stat, again the highest for Devoted Digimon, so these 2 hits for these 2 enemies, they're going to be big hits. Well, not insanely big, but bigger than your normal Devoted Digimon. Next, going to their passive, Mastemon basically stole the first part of Black Wargreymmon's passive and said, I want to make this better. And she did. So Black Wargreymon protects all calm and brave Digimon from blind and skill lock. So Mastemon took this and said, you know what? Nope. Everybody. Mastemon made it more generalized, which is amazing. She protects all allies from blind and skill lock for 2 turns. So that's nice. So basically, Mastemon is protecting your allies from the most annoying ailments there is currently in the game, blind and skill lock. Not many Digimon do this. Black Wargreymon, I believe, is the only one that protects both at the same time. I think. I'm not sure. I don't remember. So don't quote me on that. Because I know Sakuyamon protects only skill lock, and Pojimon Dragon Mode protects only blind. And I could only think of Black Wargreymon, who protects against skill lock and blind together. I think there's another one that does. I'm not sure. If there is, let me know down in the comments. You guys will most likely correct me. I know you guys will. But yeah, she protects against the most annoying ailments. Now going to Lilithmon. Lilithmon protects everything else, minus the dot damage. Lilithmon protects against shock, paralysis, freeze, stun, everything that causes your allies to just not move, basically. And on top of that, she gives herself a self-evade, which is nice because her defensive capabilities are kind of crap. Even with good plugins, one good hit to Lilithmon, she's out. Next, going to Mastemon. Mastemon is more specific, gives all common allies immunity to all dot damage, while also decreasing all enemies' tech damage resistant by 30%. I've gone over Mastemon so many times in the past few days. It's already engraved in my head what she does. as Devoted Digimon go, Lilithmon and Mastemon take it. With that said, let's look more at Lilithmon and Mastemon. So, which one run in which team? Now, looking at Mastemon's HP stat, attack stat, and defense stat, again, she has really good stats for Devoted Digimon. And because of that high tech, she can deal more damage than usual for Devoted. And in her main skill, she deals damage to 4 enemies, lowers the defense, and has a chance to inflict CC. So with that said, I feel like Mastemon will work really well in a more damage-oriented team. And what I mean by that is teams with Impojimon, Paladin Mode, Omegamon, Dynasmon, Digimon that inflict high amounts of damage in a short amount of time. Now the reason for that is just because of that minus 40% down on defense. She does that to almost the whole enemy team. So you run that first, Mastemon's main skill first, and then example Impojimon Paladimon sub and Omegamon sub. The reason why I have their subs go off first is because more than likely your enemy is running the same Digimon, and since they are, they're gonna have skill lock. No, I'm sorry, not skill lock. They're gonna have damage limit and evade. So you want to get those evades and damage limit out of the way first before you go in for the heavy hitting attack. Because if you go heavy hitting attack first, then you're not doing anything, you're not doing any damage because they're protecting against it. So with Mastemon's ability going first, you're lowering the defense and getting rid of one counter of evade and damage limiter. Then sub-skill with Impojimon Paladin Mode or Omegamon sub-skill, you're reducing more counters on their damage limiter and evade. But that's if those attacks hit it. With Mastemon, they're going to hit regardless because it's 4 enemies. With the other 2 Digimon, it's RNG at that point because I believe in Impojimon Paladin Mode, sub-skill deals damage to 2 enemies, while Omegamon does 3. So it becomes RNG at that point. But once that's out of the way, and you use their main skills, they're going to deal more damage because of Mastemon. Mastemon is mostly here to support those kind of Digimon. She'll lower the enemy's defense and inflict CC so they can't move. And with her sub-skill will allow them to survive longer. So you need a healing factor in Devoted Digimon. You need it. And they gave it to Mastemon, and I'm happy they did. And I'm happy they didn't cop out and give her something useless. Because that sub-skill is really good. Minus the damage, minus dealing damage to 2 enemies, healing your allies for 50% of their HP is amazing. Now looking at Lilithmon, I feel like she'll excel more in a tank-oriented team. Now when I say tank-oriented team, teams with Dynasmon, Grand Kuwagumon, Gallantmon, even with Omegamon too, because of his damage limiter. Teams like that, teams that could survive long battles because of the high defense. Especially if you run Grand Kuwagumon with Lilithmon, that'll help her a lot because she has crappy defensive capabilities with that low defense and somewhat low HP. Even with plugins, it's still pretty bad. If one hit from Omegamon or Impojimon touches her, she's out. And once she's out, that's it. There goes your healer. So, yeah, I feel like in a more defense-oriented team, she'll excel more because she'll have that support from them. And on top of that support, she'll be able to give them heals. Especially with her main skill where she gives 1000 HP per action. When you have tanky Digimon attacking with this skill on them, they're healing themselves constantly, making themselves more tanky. And on top of that, if they somehow take more damage than they should, use her sub-skill to heal them for 50% of their HP. She's a really good healer, one of the best healers, if not the best healer in Global right now. And with her passive is able to negate most of Mastemon's ability with that CC randomizer, minus the dot damage. So she's good, and especially if you run Mastemon and Lilithmon in the same team, In Devoted Week, imagine the capabilities. Basically, your whole team will be protected from any status ailment except dot damage. And that's fine. That is fine. At least with dot damage, you can still deal damage. And allies take too much damage with that dot, you got 2 healers to heal your Digimon. So it's like they don't have anything on them. Especially when you have Lilithmon and her 1000 HP per action. So it's like that dot damage is non-existent. For the most part. For the most part. So yeah, Mastemon with Lilithmon, with Impelgemon, Omegamon, and Dynastimon. Whew. That'll be fun. That'll be really fun. But yeah, guys. Mastemon, she's really cool. I like her a lot. Not just the way she looks, but her kit is awesome. At least on paper it is. On the field, it's gonna differ because of your enemies' Digimon that they're gonna run, depending on what passive they have or protection they have against CCs and the plugins. But in a vacuum, Mastemon is a really good devoted Digimon, if not the best devoted currently in global. Maybe that's debatable, but she can be. With that said, guys, now I want to know your thoughts. Are you guys Team Mastemon or are you Team Lilithmon? Let me know with your reasoning down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then please click on that like button. And if you haven't already, then you should subscribe and turn on notifications so you can be notified when I post part 3 or when I do pulls on this banner. This has been Toucan Dragon, and if I can, you can too. Bye, guys.